Welcome to HorseSense, where every hoofbeat carries a story, and every flick of the tail hides a meaning. Here, we explore the wisdom, wonder, and history of horses. One tale, one fact, one moment at a time. Whether you're a lifelong rider, a curious mind, or just someone who loves the beauty of these majestic animals, you're in the right place, so saddle up. And let's discover what horses have been trying to tell us all along. This is the story of a horse told from the inside out, what I feel, what I wish you knew, what I carry in my body, my blood, and my silence. You ride me, you lead me, but do you ever stop to truly hear me? Today I will speak, you look at me and say, he's a beauty, good lines. You see muscle, you see function, you see me as capable, manageable, predictable, but I am more than the sum of my parts. I remember the cold mornings of my youth, the scent of my mother, the sound of her heartbeat through the ground before I saw her face. I remember my first gallop, the air alive in my lungs, the way my hooves kissed the earth and dared gravity to catch me. I remember the day I first saw you, not just humans in general, but you were louder than I was used to. You didn't speak with your breath the way we do, but I watched and I waited. I am not a blank slate. I come with stories written in muscle memory, with fear passed down through blood, with loyalty carved into my spine. You cannot train away my wildness, you can only meet it. And when you do, when you stop forcing me into a mold, and start listening to the shape of my soul, you'll find more than an animal. You'll find a companion, a mirror, a friend. You tug on the reins, you click your tongue. You tap my side with your heel, harder this time, and when I don't move, you say I'm stubborn, lazy, defiant, even disrespectful. But what if I'm just trying to tell you something? I am a creature of feeling, of safety, of subtle signs. And when I stop moving, it's not rebellion. When I freeze at the gate, it's not because I don't know how to go through it. It's because my body remembers something you don't. A slip, a loud sound, a scent in the air I can't place but feel in my gut when I hesitate at a jump. It's not because I want to ruin your rhythm. It's because I don't trust the distance or the ground or the pressure in your hands. It's because to me it feels like a trap, small, no escape, no room for my instincts to breathe. You call it stubborn, but I call it wisdom, because in my world, hesitation has saved lives. Pausing means the lion passes. Watching means you know when the wind shifts. Stillness is not delay, it is awareness. Every time I pause, I am asking, can I trust this moment? When you push me past that question without answering it, I will obey maybe. But I will remember, and over time, my silence will grow heavy. My lightness will disappear, not because I hate you, but because I have learned that my voice doesn't matter. Please, don't call me stubborn when I'm simply scared. Don't call me disrespectful when I'm just unsure. Call me curious, call me sensitive. Call me honest, and if you wait long enough to hear me, I promise I'll speak again. If I had words for pain, you'd hear them in the morning, when I shift my weight from hoof to hoof, stiff in my joints but trying to greet you like nothing's wrong. You'd hear it when the saddle touches that one spot on my back, the one that burns a little deeper each week, the one I flinch from even when I try not to. You'd hear it in my breaths, shallow when I move, but deep when I'm alone and still. But I don't have words, so I use what I do have. A tail flick that's a little too sharp, ears that stay pinned just a second longer, a refusal to canter, a hesitation at the mounting block, or just dull eyes when once they sparkled. Not because I'm moody, not because I'm aging, but because I hurt quietly. Pain doesn't always scream. Sometimes it whispers every day, every ride, every unspoken moment. But I promise, it's not who I am, it's what I carry, and I wish you'd see it before I break. You have tools, thermometers, diagnostics, ultrasounds, words. I have instincts, and instincts don't lie. When I shift away from touch, I'm not being difficult. When I lag behind the herd, I'm not being lazy. Because sometimes the pain isn't even physical. Sometimes it's the pain of being misunderstood, of carrying your expectations. Even when I'm too tired to carry my own weight, if I could speak, I'd tell you this: I want to move with you. I want to carry you, I want to run and jump and spin freely, joyfully, but I cannot give you those things. When I am giving all my energy just to hide what hurts, please. Don't wait until I collapse to listen. Don't wait until I can't stand to ask what I need, because I've been telling you all along. You open the stall door, smile at me, pat my neck, you say, "He's got everything." And you mean it, truly you care. But if I could speak, I'd gently ask you this. What if I need more than safety? The barn gives me structure. The stall gives me shelter. Routine gives me rhythm, but I was not born for boxes. I was born for the wind. For uneven ground, for smells that stretch for miles and sounds that rise with the dawn, in the wild or even in well-kept pastures. I move as I please, I graze when I'm ready, I nap when I feel safe, I run when my heart says now. I don't ask permission from halters or fences, I just listen to the earth, to the wind, to my gut. But in the barn, I wait to be fed, I wait to be turned out, I wait to be heard. Don't get me wrong, the barn is not a prison. It's a sanctuary when it comes with balance, but when it becomes the only world I know. My mind grows restless, my spirit begins to shrink. I want to roll in real dirt. I want to walk beside a creek and pretend I'm a foal again. I want to feel the morning mist on my muzzle and the sun on my back. These are not luxuries, they are needs. They remind me who I am. I don't need to run wild. So take me out sometimes. Not to work, not to perform, not to compete, but just to be, to stand in the quiet, to graze in the open, to feel grass beneath hooves and space between thoughts. That's how I reconnect. That's how I breathe, that's how I become whole. You may think you hide it well, the short breath, the tight hands, the way your boots hit the ground just a little too loud when you walk toward me, but I feel it. Not in your words, in your energy. I feel it in the shift of the wind around you. I feel it in the silence between your footsteps. When you're angry, I don't know why. I don't know if it's because I spooked at the tarp, or didn't pick up the right lead, or because someone upset you before you got here. But I know this, your storm enters the barn before you do, and when you carry it toward me without awareness, it becomes mine to carry too. When you yank the reins, my neck flinches, yes, but so does my trust. When you growl with frustration, I hear more than noise. I hear a threat, and when you get quiet, the kind of quiet that comes with clenched teeth and hard eyes, I don't know whether to freeze or flee. Because in my world, silence is not always a safety. Sometimes I try harder when you're upset. I overcompensate. I offer more, not because I understand what you want, but because I want the pressure to stop. Sometimes I shut down. Go still, obey. But it's not obedience, it's a disconnection. Because if I have to disappear in order to stay beside you, something sacred has been lost. When you take a breath and soften your touch, I feel it too. When you ground your emotions, I can trust the ground beneath my hooves. We don't need perfection, we need presence. I don't ask you to never feel. I ask you to notice what you carry before handing it to me. Because if you bring me your storms, at least offer shelter too, so come to me. Even if you're tired, frustrated, overwhelmed, but come to me with honesty, with intention, with enough stillness in your heart, that I don't have to guess whether you're safe. I will meet you there, softly, willingly, always. Time moves differently for me, not in hours and minutes, but in moments that leave a mark. I remember the first time you brushed my neck with kindness, not just the motion, but the feeling behind it. The way your breath slowed, the way your hand hesitated, then trusted. And I remember the day your voice cracked with stress. You didn't mean to be rough, I know that, but your energy hit me like thunder. Every halter that tightens too fast, every pat that lands too hard, every tone that sharpens when you're not aware. I file it all away, not to punish you, but to stay safe. And I also remember the good. Oh, how I remember the good. That day you sat beside me in the field, said nothing and just stayed. The morning you brought the apple, not for reward, but just because. The rainy ride where we moved like one being, quiet and soaking wet, but together. I remember the rhythm of your laugh. I remember the sound of your joy. But I also remember what others try to erase. The hands that came before yours, the trailer that slammed shut before I was ready, the whip that confused me more than it corrected me, the hunger I once felt, the cold I couldn't escape. You didn't do those things, but I carry them still. It's history, so when I act suddenly, please don't ask what happened today, ask what I've lived through, what I've survived, what no one asked me about because I couldn't speak. Healing with me doesn't mean forgetting my past, it means respecting it, working with it, gently offering new memories, better ones, again and again. Every moment with me matters. Because every moment becomes part of my memory. Not just of you, but of the world. And if you're the one who adds trust, adds softness, adds meaning, then I will remember you forever as the one who turned pain into peace. You think I forgot that if I don't see you for a while, my life just continues, that I go back to my hay and my herd, as if nothing changed. But if I could speak, I'd tell you, I don't forget. I wait in the morning. When I hear footsteps that almost sound like yours, I wait by the gate. Long after the others have wandered away, I sniff every jacket that smells a little like your hands. I turn toward every voice that carries your echo, because you're part of my herd. Even if you didn't realize it, when we bond, it's not a transaction. It's something deeper, quieter, older. It's instinctual, like foals knowing their mothers. Like herds moving together without needing words. You became my person, my steady one, my familiar heartbeat. You see, time stretches when you're gone. The days become longer. My rhythm falters. I may still graze, still nicker. But there's a piece of me, the part that looked for you, listened for you, that grows quiet. But I call it grief, and it lives in my ribs like a whisper I can't name. Sometimes you leave because life changes. Sometimes you outgrow me. Sometimes I grow old, slower, stiffer, no longer able to carry you. But even then, even when our roles change, the bond remains. And if you've lost me, if my breath no longer warms your hands, if you wonder whether I still feel your presence, know this. I do. I still carry your scent in my memory. I still hear your voice when the wind brushes the trees just right. And I still wait. Not with sadness, but with recognition. Because love doesn't vanish, it just softens. It lies down beside us like twilight. Not loud, not urgent, but constant. You may leave the barn, you may move on, but you will never leave me, not really. Because what we shared wasn't just time. It was a trust. And trust leaves a print that no hoof or hand can erase. You see me standing still in the pasture, eyes half closed, one leg cocked, motionless. And you're right, but only partly. That pose, that balance, that stillness. It's rest, not surrender, a light doze, a survival gift. Because in the wild, I don't always get to lie down. My legs have locking mechanisms. My brain knows how to nap without going deep. Because predators don't wait for me to dream, so I've learned to stay half awake. Always alert to the snap of a twig or a change in the wind. But every so often, if I feel truly safe, if my herd surrounds me, if your presence calms the air around me, then and only then, I fold my legs beneath me, I breathe deeper, I lie down, and that is not just sleep. That is trust. When I lie down, I give you the part of me that watches the world. I quiet the sentinel inside. Did you know I need REM sleep too, just like you? Dreams, restoration, memory processing, it all happens when I'm fully down. But I can't enter that space if I feel exposed, if the pasture is loud, if I'm in pain, if my herd is restless. Or if I've learned that lying down gets me punished, not protected. So when you see me on the ground, not rolling, not panicking, just resting, don't worry, smile, because you're witnessing something rare. You're seeing the moment a prey animal becomes peaceful. Not because danger has disappeared, but because love has made a space for rest. You may not know what it cost me to lie down. All the centuries of flight and fear. And when you lie beside me, or simply watch from a distance, quietly, respectfully, you enter that trust, you become my herd, my watcher, my safety. So yes, I sleep standing up. But when I don't, when I let go, when I close both eyes and drift into the deep, you've given me more than a place, you've given me permission to rest, and in a world built on movement. That is the greatest gift of all. You see me standing, quiet, still. Maybe my eyes are closed, maybe my head lowers just enough to make you smile and say, he's resting. But sometimes I'm not fine, sometimes I'm holding on. Because even though I can sleep standing up, I can't dream on my feet. and if I haven't had a chance to lie down for days, sometimes weeks. My body reaches a limit, not because I tripped, not because I'm clumsy, but because sleep caught me like a wave. And I couldn't keep balancing on the surface anymore. You may hear a crash in the night. You may walk in and find me with bruises or scrapes, confused, ashamed, sore, but I wasn't reckless. I was exhausted if I don't lie down often enough. If my joints ache too much to fold beneath me. If the herd won't let me rest. Or if fear keeps whispering that the moment I close both eyes is the moment danger will strike. Then even when I try to be strong, my body will betray my vigilance. Because every creature eventually must surrender to sleep. It's not just rare, it's a signal, a symptom of imbalance, of something in my world, physical, emotional, environmental, that is off. So if you ever find me fallen, don't scold, don't panic. Ask why, ask what part of my life has grown too heavy. So let me sleep the way I need to. Do my joints ache with unspoken pain? Has the soft bedding turned hard? Has routine robbed me of rhythm? Am I alone too often? Or kept from the ones I trust to keep watch while I rest? What I long for is balance, a safe space to lie down, the freedom to rest fully and rise slowly, to not be rushed or startled or denied the sleep my soul and body crave. You can help, you can notice before I fall. You can read the subtle signs. My weight shifting more than usual. My back legs trembling. My eyes are half closed but not relaxed, and when you do, you become not just my caretaker, but my advocate. You help me find the stillness I lost. You rush through your world, so fast, so full, always moving, always reaching, always thinking, even when your body stops. Your mind keeps galloping, you call it productivity. You wear exhaustion like a badge. Look at me, I do not run unless I need to. I do not push past fatigue to earn worth. I rest when the body calls. I pause when the sun warms my coat. I find stillness not just because I can, but because I must. Not all lessons come with speed. Some arrive in the quiet, in the breath between, when I lie beside my herd. Unafraid, unguarded. I show you what it means to belong. When I close my eyes in your presence, I show you that peace is possible, that vigilance can rest, that not every moment demands effort. You've forgotten how sacred sleep is. You treat it like a delay, a weakness, a necessary nuisance. But it is not. It is where healing begins, where memories become meaning, where connection breathes quietly in the dark. Watch me. When I rest, I am not failing. I am not lazy. I am honoring the rhythm of life itself. You can too. You can slow down, breathe deeper, lie in a field even if only in your mind. Close your eyes and remember. That trust, real trust, doesn't need to be earned. It only needs to be received. I don't just teach you how to ride or how to care, I teach you how to be, without pretending, without rushing, without proving. And in my rest, I invite you to rest too, to pause, to listen, to belong, because in the end, the deepest bonds we form, between species, between souls, are not forged in doing, but in being still together. There are things in this life that don't need translation. A soft breath, a warm gaze, a still moment shared between two beings who may not speak the same language, but understand each other just the same. If I could speak, I wouldn't use fancy words. I'd use presence, I'd use silence, I'd use trust, because that's what we truly long for, isn't it? Not commands, not control, but connection. Thank you for joining me here on HorseSense, where every breath, hoofbeat, and flick of a tail brings us closer to the quiet wisdom horses carry. If this story stirred something in you, a memory, a thought, or simply a moment of stillness, let it stay with you. Until next time, take care and listen closely. The horses are always speaking.